Hi there team, Coach Alexa here. Another video in my series on sleep. So I mentioned about having a bit of a bedtime routine earlier in this video series. So making sure that we mentally and physically prepare ourselves to go to bed, reducing the amount of daylight, blue light from screens coming into our eyes, and also, keeping your bedroom cooler. So because our core body temperature drops as the level of our sleep hormone increases. So I thought specifically for people, those you who are running or doing sport, there are a couple of things that might then interrupt this, the bedtime routine, both the mental and the physical preparation with that core body temperature dropping, and that is training and eating later on in the evening. So training, I guess, has a couple of physical effects, one of which it's going to get us warmer, right? We get hotter, we produce more heat from our muscles when we're training, so that core body temperature is going to stay higher for longer. So if you're finishing, for example, a speed or interval session at 9 o'clock in the evening, it is going to take a while for the core body temperature to drop to allow that sleep hormone level to build so you feel sleepy. And also, obviously, you've kind of challenged your body quite a lot. You're going to go from, speed session, and it's going to take a little bit of a while for the body to kind of calm down again and then get back into the state where it's ready for sleep. So training late in the evenings, more noticeably so if it's a more intense or paced session, will have an impact on your sleep, the time at which you can get to sleep, and the quality of that sleep at the start of your night's sleep. So sometimes this is unavoidable. I totally get that. Lots of us have work, life, family commitments. And if that's the only time of training you can get in, then, it's absolutely no big deal. It's worth maybe thinking about how you might be able to adjust things, if you can, to pull that session forwards, particularly, as I say, if it's a pacier session, might just allow us to get a little bit of a better quality of sleep that evening, which will help recovery from an adaptation to that session you've just done. There are other things like, having a little bit of a cooling shower to try and help drop that body temperature that you can do too, that might help. So fueling is another thing. If you are just having a really late dinner or a big kind of, 3-course dinner out or whatever, and you end up not finishing eating till about 9:30, 10 o'clock in the evening, then that is also going to have a little bit of an impact on your sleep quality, because you've just given the digestive system a load of stuff to do. You've kind of ramped it up and asked it to do its job, so it's going to be still there churning away at stuff, getting on with things as you're going to sleep. So we're not quite as well into that kind of calm physical state. And also it might just be a bit uncomfortable. You might feel a bit bloated and a bit when you go to bed, so it's not going to be quite as easy to nod off. So, again, if you can leave a little bit of a gap, it would be good to help the body have got through a good amount of that digestive work, particularly in the stomach. And it allows our digestive system then to do a better job of its sort of self-cleaning exercise, which is what it gets up to when we give it that time overnight where we're not asking it to process any food for us. So, thinking about timing around those, and if you can leave a bit of a gap in between your final training session and what you're eating and bedtime, then great. There's also, I guess, the nuance of fueling evening sessions. So if you're doing an evening speed session at, say, 6:30, finishing at 7:30ish, you might want to have a late afternoon snack to make sure you've got the quick release carbohydrate energy in your bloodstream for that speed session. And then you might want to eat something afterwards, which gives us some protein. If you've got a slightly later session, you might end up having dinner before, then waiting a little bit, then going out. So you might not get back till, 8:30, 9 o'clock from your speed session. You still might want to have a little bit of protein to help with recovery from an adaptation to that session. But it's about thinking about quantities, because when we've kind of, I guess, finished our physical activity for the day, yes, eating something, nutrient rich and good quality protein will be really useful for recovery. Maybe a little bit of carbohydrate to help kind of replenish what we've burnt in that session. But actually not too much is needed, because from that point onwards, you're just sleeping and the body doesn't need that amount of energy floating around its system at that point. So have a bit of a think. Everyone's individual and everyone's sort of life, work, responsibility constraints are different. But if you find that after evening running sessions, it takes you longer to get to sleep because your body's still, kind of calming down basically, then those might be a few little things to just experiment with. Hope that's useful.